So I think there's hope in that that president in Argentina that was elected. I know it doesn't affect us, but I think it'll have a ripple effect. I think it is in many parts of the world. Um, there were no machines. It was all hand ballots and hand count, or regular ballots and hand counted. And he won. And he's really a libertarian, and people think, oh, he's crazy. No, he's for freedom. So, but the American people, we have been lulled to sleep that you think that you have freedoms, and we have a whole generation, let's face it, that has been trained to, we just listen to authority. Well, that's not what America was founded on, but that's what we've become. Because we forgot the basic fundamental rights, that the government doesn't give us rights, God does. So I think it's interesting the things that he wants to eliminate, and he's a lot like Trump. You eliminate these organizations that you did not elect because they are interfering not just with people's individual rights, but the American dream. And they use healthcare, they use science, they use expertise to say that, no, this is why we have to do it. Well, no, our founders were afraid of those people. They said that people that are socialist, communist type attitudes will use emergencies like the World Health Organizations. That's the reason the World Health Organization is really trying to push I'll do another video about that, but they're people really, if it does any good to let your representatives and congressmen know, you need to raise hell and make phone calls to them and say, don't even do this. But I think many of them on the Hill will they already know what they're going to do. But the World Health Organization has no dictate over our sovereignty, but they will if that treaty goes through and Biden signs it. And Biden wants to sign it. And then what will happen? Well, you can kiss your Constitution goodbye, because what they did was they used emergency powers to override your Constitution, the very thing the founders of the United States were worried about. But we have been so convinced that medical, nursing, science, hospital associations, education associations, unions, all of these different that they know best. So I think it's interesting what that president of Argentina wants to do, because he's going to cut all that. The state has no business, because he knows that they're all aligned with the UN. So if you cut state funding to all this, then yeah, can they still decide they're good? But none of these people should be deciding anything. You didn't elect them. You didn't elect nursing or medical associations to anything. You didn't. They can say, oh no, we have this. What right? You don't have a right to overthrow you can say we're not overthrow. Yes, you are. So they've let most hospitals they're not demanding the COVID injection. But now what they're doing, and they've slowly brought this in, but it's going to be a regular thing. And you watch in schools, they'll try to do this bullshit, is now they want you to get blood draws so they can find out if your vaccine list, you're still immune. Bullshit. So this is what I mean. Like, there's tons of people in America, because I used to be one of them, to be like, I don't care, I'll just do it and be done with it. But the problem with that attitude is that eventually it will go too far, and it's already gone too far. So now to get a permanent job, they want you to get all this blood work, and they're going to titer test you for every vaccine and then say, oh, no, you're no longer immune. No, here's my paperwork. You don't have a right to stick another needle in my arm. And you watch, they'll do this with kids. They'll get it if they can, to where every year you got to go get titer testing in the fall before your kid goes to school. Because their amount of power has gotten out of control. It is out of control. Nobody elected them to anything. And the problem is they don't care who you elect, because they just do whatever they want. They elect each other at the UN and the World Health Organization, all these associations, and they just say no. Well, that's why it pisses me off so much that these nurses that aligned with this, it's like, you live in America and you didn't like even stop to consider the Constitution? You think you can just demand that every nurse have to do all of these things? See, there was a time we didn't, and that should concern people, because those kinds of people, the socialists, the ones demanding one-payer healthcare system to the point where they'll tank the healthcare system just to get the government to come in and then control it, and then it'll be Venezuela. But those are not, that's why you have to speak up against this stuff. That's our responsibility. You don't get to live in freedom and just, no, I'll do whatever the government says. No, you didn't elect associations of medicine, nursing, or science to do anything. The fact is, if a nurse has a license and her license is in good standing and she has a track record, she should be hired. If you want to put her through a drug screen, fine, whatever, physical to make sure she can. But otherwise, they have gone too far with the demands. And the demands have totally infringed on our rights. And now that the people, even in the world, have realized these things, they're pissed off at all the governments. And that's the reason why this Argentina election is crucial, because he knows. So I put a video up yesterday of all of the things that he wants to eliminate. And there's a certain reason. It's because he will eliminate these agencies, and that's what needs to happen here, so no more funding goes to these associations that you didn't elect, because then they get lobbies and they get things passed that hurt you and I. There should be no more lobbyists either. I think the American people, here's the good thing about social media, is the American people have risen up, especially on TikTok, and are speaking up, and we're being our own advocates and lobbyists. That's the way the founders wanted it. They didn't want science lobbyists that serve socialist, communist agendas lobbying on behalf of the American people. That's how we got here. So the Argentina president knows exactly what's going on. The 11 dashed, and it was like that video yesterday. That's what this is talking about. The 11 dashed agencies, including the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development. Yes, that's tied straight to the UN, so he knows. The Ministry of Women, Gender, and Diversity. Yes, that very racist agenda that is falling here too in many states. Parents have risen up against that. Will it stay in healthcare? Likely, because healthcare will hold on to everything until everything funding is cut to these people, and the American people are put first again. And the Ministry of Education, called by him the Ministry of Indoctrination. That's what we have here. We do not have children learning proper history or just the basics, math, history, grammar, all of this. We have them learning about gender and porn and things that are twisted and sick, because when you get sick and twisted, when you align with a bunch of countries and the World Health Organization at the UN, those are countries that some of those countries are horrible to women. Some of those countries, because they're communist countries, they're horrible to their people. You don't go aligning with that. Yet nobody elected American Nurses Association to anything, nor the Medical Association, nor any of this. And the Argentina president realizes it. That's why he's cutting all this. He said the state has no business involved in any of this. And Trump put out a video today, and yesterday he posted on Truth about congratulating him. Yes, it shows what the Argentine people want. They want freedom. People do not want experts and the higher educating that they didn't elect to anything, deciding what they will do and don't do for just to get a job, and many other reasons, or what their kids have to do because some experts out of 6 schools decide that they think that they are going to tell you what to do. No, our founders warned about this kind of stuff. So I think I see even though this victory doesn't impact America, I think the same thing's going to happen here in America. Now, I think the left and the people that got on board with the UN, they'll burn the place down if they have to stop the American people from having their freedom. But I think there's enough Americans in this country that will die for that freedom before we'll let you take it.